Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers and Digital Empire Builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we got another wonderful show lined up for you today. We're talking about the state of Black business, right? I ran across some startling statistics as it relates to where Black businesses actually stand in the economy. Are they doing good? Are they doing bad? What are some of the challenges? And more importantly, y'all know I'm solutions oriented. So we're going to talk about some things that we can do about some of the negative statistics that are out there regarding Black-owned businesses, but also how we can make the positive things that are occurring in these Black businesses more widespread. So buckle up, hold on tight, man. Do me a huge favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and all your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. And let's kick it this morning.
Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite entrepreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Black Biz Success Mastermind Studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you're not familiar with the Black Biz Success Mastermind, it is a group of growing entrepreneurs looking to provide best practices, share tips, strategies to help all entrepreneurs win. So either you want to start a business, you already have a business, you want to grow that business, or you just like to network and connect with other Black entrepreneurs, then text the keyword Mastermind to 314-866-4053. Again, text the keyword Mastermind to 314-866-4053 if you fall into one of those three categories. Today, we're talking the state of Black business. There are some startling statistics as it relates to Black-owned businesses, but y'all know your boy ain't about doom and gloom, right? We're going to talk about some of the things and where we are as a culture of entrepreneurs, but we're going to offer some solutions, right? So if you're a Black business and you're trying to figure out where you are and where you stand in this economy and how to pick yourself up by the bootstraps, so to speak, then we're going to talk all about that today. But before we do that, a quick announcements. And if you have not already, hit the share button, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Wherever you're following, wherever you're watching this show, make sure you follow this. But watch this. Here's one of the challenges that Black entrepreneurs have is they don't tend to appreciate marketing, or they sometimes feel embarrassed about marketing. Well, I ask you every morning on the show to comment in the chat where you're from and drop the name of your business and or your brand. And very few people actually do it, but you got to know how to network. You got to know how to take opportunities to expose your business to new people, right? This is a business podcast. Y'all know I interview entrepreneurs all the time, and you got a business, and you won't even tell me what that business is so that I could potentially interview you and expose you to our entire audience. I'm just saying, but you know, that's up to you where you want to put your business and how you want to promote it and all that. But and give you the opportunity to network with other entrepreneurs on this show every single morning. And that's one of the challenges that we have. We're in silos, we're building alone. And to go fast, you go alone. But to go far, you got to go together. So announcements for the day: digital marketing decoded, ladies and gentlemen. How would you like to sit in a Zoom meeting with me twice a week, up to twice a week, and get your business strategies together around marketing? That's what digital marketing decoded is. And I have decided that we're going to do that on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time and Thursday afternoons at 12 p.m. Central Time. So you have two opportunities if you're an entrepreneur to literally get in an environment where we're going to be helping you grow your business, ask your questions about marketing, how to use social media, all of these different things, man, because it is truly, truly, truly the best time to be in business right now, right? Like the gatekeepers are gone, the internet has leveled the playing field, but you got to get around the right people. So I'm opening my doors for you to be able to have these conversations to help you grow in the area of your marketing of your business. Also, the daily hustle. Some of you guys are struggling still with social media. You're like, Cortez, I don't know what to post every day. I don't know how to post every day. I don't know how to be consistent. Well, I'm going to give you a clue on what you could do and how I can help. The way that you can be more consistent on social media is for you to join the Daily Hustle list. What is the Daily Hustle? That is my followers connecting to me in a special way where I literally give you content to post every single day and a short training video on how to use the content of the day, right? All you got to do is text Daily Hustle to 314-730-3999. Again, text Daily Hustle to 314-730-3999. Every day, you're going to get an infographic that has been strategically put together to draw people to your business and or your brand. You're going to get the caption to post with that, as well as the researched hashtags. All you got to do, if you don't post anything else to social media every day, just post what I give you in a Daily Hustle and watch you start attracting the right types of people to your business. And then the video, I teach you how to engage with those people so that you can turn them into not only likes, not only followers, not only people who like to comment and share your stuff, but you also turn them into leads, get them to book appointments on your calendar. So that's the Daily Hustle, ladies and gentlemen. And all you got to do is send a simple text message to 314-730-3999 with the key phrase Daily Hustle. So we're going to talk about the state of Black businesses today and where we are, some statistics that I found, and based on some training that I'm getting from a mastermind group that I recently joined. I mean, it's phenomenal. I'm going to be talking about that as well. But y'all know how we do, man. We start every episode of the Cortez Hustle Show with a quote of the day. And today's quote says this, my friend: consider the ant. They work all summer to prepare for winter, and all winter preparing for summer. Y'all know who the author of that one is, right? God, right? Consider the ant. They work all summer to prepare for winter, and all winter to prepare for summer, right? Now, do not get this twisted to mean that this is seasonal for human beings. Brian Woods, I see you out of Hinesville, Georgia in the building. Welcome this morning. Do not get this twisted to mean only the actual summer season and winter season, but think about summers as seasons in your life as we go through. What is summertime in most cases? Summertime is the time of abundance, right? And then wintertime is the time of lean. It is a time of struggle. It's a time of lack. And we all have summers and winters in our lives, and you have to know how to focus your energy in the summertime when things are abundant, right? When things are going well, you are riding high. You've got to know how to focus your energy on storing things from your abundant season to make sure that your lean season is not as difficult. And the same thing in your lean season, you've got to be preparing for how you're going to take full advantage of the next coming season of plenty in your life, because everything is cyclical, y'all. We all have summers and winters. We all and they go in sequence, right? It never changes. If you are in the middle of a lean time in your life right now, then summer is on its way. What are you doing to prepare for the explosive season of plenty in your life? If you are in a season of plenty in your life right now, everything is going well, you're riding high. What do we know? That winter is coming. What are you doing to prepare for that winter? You can't spend all of your time enjoying, kicking back and laughing and having good times in your times of plenty. You've got to be preparing and putting things away, putting things in place for those lean times. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is 1 minute more. That is the quote of the day. I'm sorry, right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. And the quote of the day is brought to you by Personal Branding 365. If you're struggling to build an attractive, powerful, profitable personal brand, then I put all of my secrets into a book and video course for you called Personal Branding 365. All you got to do is text key. All you got to do, is go to personalbranding365.com. I'll put the link in the comments and the show notes, and get yourself a copy for $7.95. I think you're going to be impressed with the material, as well as the $400+ in bonuses that you get along with the actual ebook. Go to personalbranding365.com. That's your way of supporting the show, but more importantly, invest in yourself, man. If you want to learn really how to build a business and build a brand online, this will teach you how to do that from a branding standpoint. So, talking the state of Black businesses, let me grab this link to this article that I was checking out. Some of you guys know that what my mission is, and I have gone into hyper study mode of this cause because of what my mission is, right? I'm on a mission to help bring economic empowerment to the Black community by focusing on entrepreneurship education and business development. And my ultimate goal is to help, the ultimate vision is to see Black people become the #1 employers of Black people in the next 2 generations. So as I'm looking at the numbers and starting to really dive into this subject matter, I'm finding a lot of statistics and a lot of information about where we currently are, because in order for you to go from where you are to somewhere different, the first thing you have to do is accept where you are, right? You got into your car and you turned on a GPS, the first thing the GPS calculates is where you currently are. It calculates your location. The next thing it asks you is, where do you want to go? And then it chooses and maps out a route. So we as Black entrepreneurs have to take a serious, open-minded look at where we actually are and decide where we want to go, and then map out the best course to get us there. So as I looked at some of these statistics, I saw some good things and I saw some bad things. We want to talk about those today. So the article is actually on Fundera by NerdWallet. This is a very reputable online publication that talks all about wealth, money, and strategies, tips on how to just be better, right? As entrepreneurs, as individuals looking to grow in the area of your finances. They work with a lot of the major banks and credit card companies and things of that nature. So let me just read. I'll put the link in the comments for you guys as well, so that you can get the whole thing, because I can't read the whole thing. But let me just read some of what it says. Economic inequality is a pervasive issue in the United States. Small businesses don't get the same tax breaks and government bailouts that massive corporations do, but inequality isn't predicated solely on business size. Black-owned businesses are at a distinct disadvantage when compared to their white-owned counterparts. On top of the normal challenges of running a business, Black business owners must also navigate a considerable funding gap between white and Black-owned businesses. As political movements like Black Lives Matter gain steam across the country, it's important to remember that injustice goes far beyond the justice system. Right now, we know that we still got a ways to go and what's happening in the police brutality and all of that stuff for Black people. But man, this thing is just nasty all across the board. Until we really have a serious conversation about it, it won't get better, right? For the country as a whole, but we can make it better for ourselves as Black people, in particular as Black entrepreneurs. Uh, the financial system has also historically discriminated against and oppressed Black business owners, right? That's why most activists have encouraged people to support Black-owned businesses as a way to create positive change in the country. As people become more aware of economic and social injustice, it's important to know the facts about Black-owned businesses. The Black business statistics show just how deep the inequality goes, while also illuminating how much hope there is in the Black business community. So number one, we're talking when they give a list of 20 statistics, right? Number one, there are more than 2 million Black-owned businesses in the United States. Yay, right? We're excited about that. But watch this. According to the most recent available census data, there are more than 2 million Black-owned businesses in America. Of this number, 124,000 are defined as employer firms, which means that they have employees in addition to the sole proprietor. So in order for us to really use entrepreneurship in the way that every other culture uses entrepreneurship to build an economic power base, this is one of the challenges that we got to face. 2 million Black businesses out there. Only 124,000 has employees. So what does that mean? That means we have literally been encouraged to either create small solopreneur businesses and stay that way, or we just haven't been educated on how to actually structure and scale a business to where we can hire employees. And I think it's a combination of the two, right? I'm working with a group called the Black Mastermind Group and the Black Business Mastery Institute, founded by Dr. Danetta Watson. And I was just in class last night, and we were just learning how to run business by the numbers so that you can put yourself in position to not only be a fundable business, to be a sustainable business, to be a profitable business, but also be a business that employs people, right? Because without employing people, we don't really change the narrative for our situation, right? And what is that narrative? We have the highest unemployment rate of any other culture in the world. And part of that is because every other culture creates business solutions that hire their people. And when you create businesses that hire people, there's a lot of positive benefit in that. A, you create businesses in the communities that you live, so you create a tax base for those businesses. B, those businesses grow into institutions, right? Those institutions affect policy that make our communities more viable, more sustainable. Those institutions give back to said community so that we have programs for our children and things of that nature. Those same institutions also become pillars of hope in the community, where the young people can see people that look like them running these institutions, running these businesses. Their parents have good quality jobs with good quality health care. And it's just a good positive outcome when we focus on building businesses in this way. That's why my focus is, what can I do from a digital marketing standpoint to help these businesses get the word out about the wonderful products and services that they provide, so that they can grow big enough to where they can hire people. We've got to produce jobs for our people. We can continue to talk about how other families discriminate against us, but let's be clear about something, right? Let's be clear and honest about something. If your family is out of work and you are in position to put them in work, who would you hire first? Your family or somebody else's family? Come on, let's be clear. We talk about nepotism all the time, but as if that's a bad thing. No, I'm putting myself in position as a Black business, a Black company, to be able to provide opportunities for my immediate family. First and foremost, I got to put my 5 sons to work. I got a wife, right? Secondly, I've got an extended family. I've got brothers and sisters. I've got cousins, uncles, aunties, nieces, nephews, right? I'm putting myself in position to provide opportunities for us to feed ourselves first and foremost. Then I want to grow to the place where I can provide opportunities for people outside of the family to win. And I know our history in this country, right? And it is so easy to point the finger at somebody else. But we got to start taking full accountability. Now, am I dismissing racism? Not in the least, right? But how long do you sit on the sidelines and complain about what somebody won't give you before you go out and get it for yourself, right? I remember Tupac being interviewed, and they were talking, and he was talking more on the lines of a socialist, but I want to see us do this from an entrepreneurial standpoint and just take advantage of the system of capitalism and free enterprise, right? He said, if you have a bunch of wealthy, rich people on one side of the door, and you got people who are starving and hungry on the other side of the door. And he said, you know, they start out happy and jovial, and they're asking, hey, we're out here starving. Please give us some food. Please give us some food. And he's singing and he's playful with it, right? But he said, eventually that happy joyfulness go to more of an aggressive, hey, we're hungry. Please help us out. Please help us out, to ultimately going to a place where it's just all out aggressive. Like, no, we're not hungry. We're starving. And if we have to break this door down to come and get some food, then that's what we're going to do, right? But we have a free enterprise system, and we do not particularly have to get to that point to go and take something from someone else, when we can take our gifts, talents, special abilities and go and provide and produce something for ourselves. So that was 1 out of 20, ladies and gentlemen. And we are not doing a 2-part episode because I've got some other guests coming on for the rest of the week. So I got to run through the other 19. But before I can run through the other 19, I got to get to 1 minute motivation, man. This is the opportunity where we on the Cortez Hustle Show will share a short 60 to 90 second video on something positive, something encouraging in the area of personal growth and self-development. Today, we got some Les Brown queued up. So listen to this carefully. If you're in a position to type, let me know in the comments what one of your takeaways is, and I'll give you a couple of my takeaways. And then we're going to run through this list of 19 things, stats about Black-owned businesses, and some of the things that I think that we could do to make some changes and adjustments. So this, my friend, is 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
Watch out with the relationships you have. What kind of person are you becoming because of the relationships that you have right now? Do those people contribute to you? Do they help you grow and develop yourself? What kind of person are you becoming? People who have not accepted greatness for themselves, these people don't study, ladies and gentlemen. These people don't study. They don't have time for personal growth and development. They don't have time to work on their minds. No, they don't have time for that. Too busy for that. People can affect us. Our peers can affect us. Our environment can affect us. Just working consciously to overcome the poverty consciousness that I was raised in. The feeling constantly of saying, Les Brown, you deserve this. There's no need for you to be afraid. It's not too good to be true. It's true because you've earned it. The old-fashioned way, you have worked for it. But every once in a while, it comes up when I least expect it. My heart starts beating fast. And I start questioning myself and doubting myself. And I have to catch myself. You've got to be consciously conscious. So let's look at how we can begin to evaluate our self-esteem, our self-approval. Number one, to determine the height of your self-approval, it's important that you evaluate yourself, because you know you quite well, but it's almost impossible to do it totally by yourself. You must get some caring feedback. Find somebody close enough to you that has observed you or been around you, that you value their opinion, and ask them, how do they see you? How do they rate you in terms of your self-esteem? And then compare what you have with what they say.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, man, we get going all the way in today. So that was legend Les Brown, man. Relationships matter, people. Your relationships matter. Are you consciously conscious? Right? He said you got to be consciously conscious. Are you consciously conscious about the relationships that you are developing, the relationships that you are allowing to fester or remain in your life, the relationships that you are avoiding, right? I remember um, really avoiding certain people who were on the path of elevation because I wasn't there yet. I didn't want to be around certain people because they were winning. Those people were accountable. They were doing the right things. And I didn't want them to push me down that road because I wanted to continue down the path that was not serving me. Relationships matter, right? I got a chance to sit on the panel with a guy, a local legend here in St. Louis, called named Dr. Elance McCarthy. And to his point, and this is something that I have a goal to do more of this year. He said every week, most people who have a poverty mindset celebrate their weekend the exact same way. Every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday, they're going to the same places, being around the same people. Even if the names on the buildings change, it's the same environment, right? Club type environments, or they're going to play spades or dominoes on the weekend. This is how they do. They're going to have them some drinks, bring in their brown bags or whatever. He said every weekend, this is how people with a poverty mindset, they're doing the exact same thing. They might be doing it in different physical locations, but they're creating the same environment over and over every weekend. You said, and they're paying for this. So they might pay a cover charge to get into a club. They're going to pay for their drinks. They're going to pay to have a good time, but they're doing the same thing every weekend. But he said, at the exact same time, on the other side of town, there are people with a wealth consciousness. They're doing the same thing. But he said, if you ventured across on the other side of town, they're having nonprofit galas, and the food is free, the drinks are free, and you get to be around multi-millionaires who are anxious to share their wisdom. See, we have been conditioned by media to believe that wealthy people hoard their information. They don't hoard their information. What they hoard is their time. And what they will not do, and I know because I've been around quite a few of them, I've been blessed, right? What they will not do is waste their time pouring their information into somebody who's not going to do anything with it. But I will tell you this, if you are ambitious, if you are a go-getter, if you are hungry, as Les Brown says, I don't know a wealthy person in this world that will not sit with you or give you some nuggets to help you grow if you got a chance to be around them. Problem is, though, in a lot of cases, as Jim Rohn says, sometimes you got to make minor investments to get around major people. Oh, I'm going to run that one back. Sometimes you have to make minor investments. It's a minor investment in gas. It's a minor investment in a decent shirt and a tie for me to go, instead of going to a traditional club, instead of going to the pool hall, instead of going to my homeboy's house to slam some dominoes. It's a minor investment for me to put some gas in my car, for me to clean myself up, put on a decent shirt, and go on the other side of town and go see an art show, to be around some major people. It's a minor investment. But we want it all. Now, we want the wealthy people to come into our community, spill all of their wisdom upon us, and then give us the money to start the projects that they have laid in our life. Come on, people. Let's be 100 about this thing. Come on. Right? Dr. George Frazier talks about your E to E ratio. How much money do you spend investing in yourself versus how much you spend in entertaining yourself, right? Your E to E ratio. How much money do you invest educating yourself versus the amount of money you invest entertaining yourself? We don't have no problem dropping $1,000 to go see Kanye West. And I ain't mad at you if you just need to escape. We all got our escapisms and you want to go kick back and chill. But why do you have a problem investing $1,000 in your education? You know why? Because you don't think you're worth it. Oh, did he just say that out loud? Yeah. When you don't invest in yourself, it's because you don't think you are worth it. Oh, yeah. I'm going to let that sink in. That, ladies and gentlemen, is 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by Thornton Online Marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a small local business and you're trying to figure out how to attract, serve, and retain more customers without paid ads, and I need you to text local biz to 314-730-3999. You would just text local biz to 314-730-3999. You can get yourself set up for a free digital marketing strategy session with one of our lead generation strategists, and they will help you to put together some strategies, some systems to attract leads, more customers without paid advertising. That's Thornton Online Marketing. So we're talking about the state of Black-owned businesses, and we started with this statistic that is the reason that I do what I do, right? Let me see. My man Brian Woods, I want to make sure I say a minor investment is necessary to elevate to higher levels. Absolutely, Brian. Absolutely. You got to get in those rooms where people are winning and talking about winning and executing on winning all the time. So we're talking about the state of Black-owned businesses. The biggest stat is that out of 2 million Black-owned businesses, only 124,000 of them actually employ people, right? So we've got to get to a place where we can start saying, okay, how do we build businesses that employ people? Well, I'll tell you how. You study the ones that are doing it well. Stat number 2, Worldwide Technologies, right here in St. Louis, David Stewart, right, is the largest Black-owned business in the country. Global tech consulting firm Worldwide Technology is the largest Black-owned business, posting revenues of more than $2 billion in 2016. I think David Stewart is worth about $4 billion. I mean, literally, it's right up the highway from me, right? Less than 20 minutes, I could be on the Worldwide Technology campus, right? So we got to study individuals like that to say, okay, how did you build the infrastructure? How did you build, what was it like? And here's the thing, we can't talk to him and look at what he's doing today, because I think it was Mr. Blessed and Unstoppable himself said, in order for you to have the success that other people have, you don't do what they're doing today. You've got to go back to understand the mindset that created it. So we got to go back to David Stewart when there were no employees at Worldwide Technology and figure out what was the mindset that you had before you hired your first employee. Because now he employs tens of thousands of people around the world, because it's a global firm. Even though it's based in St. Louis, it's a global tech firm, and he employs tens of thousands of people. Number 3, Black-owned businesses generate $150 billion in gross revenue as recently as 2012. According to the Minority Business Development Agency, those 2 million companies generate more than $150 billion in gross revenue, which is less than 1% of more than the $2 trillion in gross receipts revenue worldwide. Now, this is important. I'm super proud of the Black-owned businesses who are getting some of this $150 billion. But watch this. This is why we gotta take a good hard look at where we are. Black-owned businesses, there's 2 million of them. They generated $150 billion in gross revenue. But Black people spend $1.6 trillion every year. So what is that saying? that's saying that out of $1.6 trillion that Black people spend, Black-owned businesses is only getting $150 billion of that. That also means that we're not getting much of the $1 trillion that the white culture spends, the $1 trillion that the Asian community, that the Hispanic community spends, the $500 billion that the Asian community spends. We're not getting any of their money. We got to ask ourselves, why is that? Why is that? We spend 1.6 trillion, but we only got 150 billion in gross revenue. Why aren't we attracting those dollars? We got to ask ourselves some tough questions, y'all. We got to ask the tough questions. Number 4, the most popular category for Black-owned businesses is healthcare. The most common type of Black-owned business is healthcare, as 32% of Black-owned businesses are in the healthcare category. Other popular categories include repair and maintenance, personal and laundry services, advertising firms, and auto dealerships. Right? As eclectic as we are as a people, why are we not more widely spread and providing services for everybody and everything? Right? We got to build businesses that are for us, by us, that are for all, right? Brian says, make it make sense, my brother. I'm struggling here. I'm struggling to make it make sense. But it starts with this conversation. It starts with us just taking a good hard look and saying, okay, here's a clear picture of where we are. Now, if we want to say, take that 150 billion and say out of 1.6 trillion, we want to grow 150 billion. Let's go out and let's get us another 1% of that. Let's double that 150 to 300 billion. Right? But if we don't even know where we are, we can't map a clear path to where we want to be. Right? So healthcare is where we dominate in terms of businesses, especially now with a lot of home healthcare agencies, right? Number 5, New York has the greatest number of Black-owned businesses in the country. In a study that measured Black-owned businesses numbered in all 50 states and the District of Columbia, New York had 204,093 Black-owned businesses, which was most in the country. On that list, Georgia is second, Florida is third, and Texas is fourth. Now, because of the population density, I'm guessing that's probably because Georgia, I thought Georgia was the highest, with most concentrated in Atlanta. Atlanta has a lot of Black-owned businesses, but clearly New York is number 1, Georgia's number 2, Florida, and Texas number 4. So we got to think about this, and this is good for me because my wife is thinking about moving to Texas, right? And as a Black entrepreneur, I want to move to a part of the country where Black businesses are thriving, right? So at least knowing where the states are where Black businesses are thriving, that says a lot. Number 6, Washington, D.C. has the highest ratio of Black-owned businesses in the country. Right now, New York has the most, but D.C. has the highest ratio. While New York has the highest number of Black-owned businesses, studies show that 28% of Washington, D.C. businesses are Black-owned, giving it the highest percentage of Black-owned businesses in the country. Georgia is second, again, with 20%, while Maryland was third with 19%. So in Maryland, 19% of all businesses are Black-owned. In Georgia, 20% of all businesses are Black-owned. In D.C., 28% of all businesses in the D.C. area are Black-owned businesses, right? So this gives me great stats. So if my mission is to help Black people become the number 1 employers of Black people in the next 2 generations, I get to look at these statistics and say, okay, where are the most black businesses? I can go to DC and say, okay, what is the initiative that we can start in the DC area that would allow each one of you black-owned businesses, the 28% of you guys, to hire one more person, right? This is how we cut unemployment. We create businesses and opportunities. How can I help you increase your revenue to where it will justify you hiring a qualified black employee, right? Number 7, 70% of black business owners are happy with their business. According to research by Guidance Financial, a strong majority of black business owners are at 70% are pleased with their business's success and impact on their lives. We might have to take it a step further though, y'all. You're pleased with your business and your business's success and the impact of your life. But if we're talking about this 70%, then we know that 69% of this 70% that are pleased do not have any employees. Right, out of 2 million, only 124,000 have employees. So out of 70%, most of these people who said they are happy with their business and the impact that it has on their lives are solopreneurs. Are they also happy with the impact that their business is having on their community? Right? Maybe that's a question that we should have asked. Number 8, 58% of black business owners said their business's financial health is at risk or distressed during COVID-19. Despite most business owners being happy, the COVID-19 pandemic had a significant impact on their business's health. While 58% of black business owners report their business being in trouble, just 27% of white business owners say the same thing. Come on now. COVID has really hit us all hard. It hit us all hard. But because of structure, because of ties to the community, because they qualified for the emergency funding. Listen, you guys realize that a lot of the emergency funding that the government has were tied to the amount of employees that you had. Let's think about this. 2 million businesses, only 124,000 have employees. The emergency relief funding that the government put those trillions of dollars into the economy, most of it was tied to and allocated towards businesses that have employees. Now, I could get on my racial kick and say, oh, they knew this statistic and that's why they put that in the mandate so that we would be excluded for the money, right? One could come up with that conclusion. And it could be some truth to that. But at the end of the day, those were the mandates. And I think I heard a statistic at the end of last year that said the Small Business Association still has $300 million that it cannot give away because black businesses can't qualify. $300 million that it can't give away because black businesses can't qualify because they don't have any employees. Number 9, less than 4% of startups are founded by black women. According to Digital Lund Divides Project Diane 2018 report, the state of black women founders, the number of startups founded by black women more than doubled between 2016 and 2018. However, it doubled from less than 2% to less than 4%. That's progress, but not much. Right? Nearly half of all black women startups were in California and New York. Black women is the fastest growing segment of entrepreneurs in the country right now, but you can see percentage-wise is they're not making a dent in terms of overall percentage of business owners. Number 10, 35% of black business owners are women. Although the number of startups launched by black women is very small, black women are far more prominent in the small business world. Women represent 35% of black-owned businesses compared to just 25% of female-owned businesses in other racial and ethnic groups. They dominate and they're crushing it, right? They're crushing it. But still, a lot of those are solopreneur women. Solopreneur women. Number 11, businesses owned by Black women are significantly less than businesses, earn significantly less than businesses run by other women. Although Black women are well represented among business owners, they earn disturbingly less money than other business owners. One study found that Black women-owned businesses earned an average of $24,000 in net revenue compared to $142,000 among all women-owned businesses. That is an enormous and problematic gap. What's the problem there? They're earning $24,000. The average woman-owned business from other cultures are earning $142,000. Could it go back to the 1.6 trillion that we are spending, and we're only getting 150 billion of it? Could it go back to not scaling and bringing in employees to help the business reach further and wider? I mean, it could be a lot of things, right? But these numbers paint a clear picture of where we are. And we got to understand where we are before we can map a course to where we want to be. How do Black-owned businesses start? 34% of Black business owners start their business because they want to be their own boss, right? Now, 34% of business owners say ready to be my own boss was the primary reason they started a business. Other top answers were a desire to pursue my own passion, dissatisfaction with corporate America, and the opportunity presented itself was the final 10%, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting to be your own boss, but we got to be careful with that. I figured that I could be my own boss, not because I was frustrated with corporate America, but because I was a damn good employee. Some of us want to be our own boss, and all through our working career, we have been the worst employee ever. I want y'all to let that sink in. Some of us want to be our own boss, but all through our working lives, we have literally been the worst employee ever. And to be honest, if someone showed up and asked us for a job with the behavior that we exhibited on some of the jobs that we had, we would not hire ourselves. But sometimes you make the right decision and other times you make the decision right. So if you decide to step out and be your own boss, then make that a right decision. Number 13, 44% of Black small business owners use cash to start their venture. Most Black small business owners use their own money to fund their businesses than the average small business owner, right? Again, this goes back to our inability to get access to capital. Only 37% of small business owners use their own cash to start their ventures. Most people, most entrepreneurs, over 60% of them use other people's money to start their businesses, not us, right? Two reasons. We haven't learned the principle of using other people's money, right? And because a lot of times we have a hustle mentality, we're not in position to qualify for capital to use other people's money, right? How many people do Black-owned businesses employ? Black-owned businesses employ approximately 920,000 people. I told you I'm doing this research for myself. If I want to help Black people become the #1 employers of Black people, there's 40 million Black people in America. You have to surmise that half of those people are of working age. So that means 20 million people. And out of the 20 million Black people, we only employ 920,000 people. And I would assume that most of the people are Black. But then if you take away the amount of people that a company like Worldwide Technology employs, That's even less people. Of the 2 billion Black-owned businesses in America, fewer than 125,000 have employees. These employer firms employ more than 920,000 people with a total annual payroll of $23 billion. So what is that saying? This changes. So if all of these companies that are hiring people just hire just one more person, that 920 goes to 1.8 million people they're hiring in these firms, right? 15, just 7% of Black-owned employer firms have 6 to 10 employees compared to a national average of 12%, right? Black-owned employer firms also tend to have fewer employees than the national business average. According to the American Express research, 38% have 2 to 5 employees, while just 7% have 6 to 10 employees. The overall average, 41% employ 2 to 5 people, and 12% employ 6 to 10. So we're talking about those who do employ people are not growing institutions, right? And while you have to applaud them for employing 2 to 5 people, 6 to 10 people, what's stopping them from scaling to bigger operations that could bring more revenue to hire more people? And every time you hire someone, you're actually putting an entire family to work. You're changing somebody's family in somebody's community, right? Yeah, think about these things. Number 16, challenges for Black-owned businesses. Black business owners receive less business financing less often and at higher rates. Here's the racial component. The racial funding gap is very real. Federal Reserve numbers show that 82% of white business owners receive at least a percentage of the funding they request from a bank. Only 66% of Black, Indigenous, or people of color business owners can say the same. When Black-owned businesses do get funding, the amount tends to be about $30,000 less than their comparable white business owners, while their interest rates tend to be 1.4% higher. We got to ask why. Why do I get less money? Why do I pay a higher interest rate for that less money? Why do I get less money less frequently? We got to ask why. Now, if the truth comes out that we get less because our businesses are improperly structured, we get less because we don't have stable businesses, then we got to fix that. But if the truth comes out that we get less because it's a racial thing, then we got to address that too. Number 17, 37.9% of Black business owners say that they are discouraged from applying for loans. The primary reason many Black business owners don't apply for loans is because they believe they would be turned down even if they did apply. Just 12.7% of white business owners feel the same way. We're scared to even apply. Now, is that a fear because of, racial undertone? Is that a fear because we know we don't have our ish together? Come on, we got to talk about this on a real level. Like for me, my credit ain't the best personally. So when I'm at the checkout line at the store and they say, hey, you can save an extra 10% if you apply for this card. And I'm like, nah. Why? Because personally, I know my ish ain't together. Is that the same in business, right? Do Black business owners know that they don't have their paperwork in order, right? I'm telling you, this Black Mastermind group that I'm in, Dr. Danetta Watson, listen, I'm learning how to run my business by the numbers. I'm learning how to put my proposals together. I'm learning how to ask for the money and show what I'm going to do with it, when I'm going to do it, and how I'm going to pay these people back. If you can't do that as a business owner, then of course you're not going to get a loan. And if you know you can't do that, of course you're going to feel a way about applying for a loan, right? So we got to get our entrepreneurial financial literacy intact. Number 18, the average level of startup capital for Black entrepreneurs is just $35,205 $1,205. On the other hand, white entrepreneurs report the average of $106,720 of startup capital. Wait a minute. The average white person has startup capital of 3 times what we have. They got 106,000 to start. We got 35,000 to start. The margin for failure is razor thin for Black entrepreneurs. Number 19, just 1% of Black business owners obtain business loans in their first year. Comparatively, 7% of white-owned firms get business loans in their first year. Other first-year financing stats. Credit cards, 30% of white business owners versus 15% of Black business owners. Personal loans, 18% of white business owners, 14%. Family loans, 9% of white business owners, 14% of Black business owners. Black business owners are far more likely to rely on their family and community for financial help the first year in their business versus financial institutions. And last but not least, number 20, only 18% of Black business owners report receiving assistance from loan officers in completing applications. Starting a business and getting the capital you need to sustain or grow that business is complicated. Therefore, it's an issue that 59% of white business owners report receiving help from loan officers, while less than 1/5 of Black business owners. So what does that mean? When we do show up at the financial institutions and say, hey, I want to get a loan, and the loan officer sits across the table from us and says, oh, you don't have this, you don't have that, you don't have this, you don't have that, come back when you get it. That's what's happening to us. But when our white counterparts go into that same office and they sit with the loan officer, they're saying, hey, you don't have this, so let me give you this resource to help you get this. Or you don't have that, or you feel that wrong, let's redo that and let me help you fill that out correctly so that it looks better to the underwriter. And that is racial. Why wouldn't you help me complete my loan application if you're going to help everybody else? Those are challenges. Those are issues. Those are problems. Now, I didn't say all of this to say that we should be afraid of going into these institutions. What I'm saying is we have to understand where we are so that we can plan accordingly. If you know that you're not going to get any help from the loan officer when you go in to sit down and have that loan, then make sure you have your stuff together. That's all I'm saying. So we're out of time, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys all for listening to me gripe and moan and complain about where we are as a state of Black entrepreneurship. But hopefully we can take this information, build on it, and then go out and make some new changes. Until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now, hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.